Mewing can be a great way to improve your facial features and breathing, but what if your tongue's restricted, or you can't fit it in between your teeth, or your endurance is whack and you can't keep that puppy plastered up on the roof of the mouth all day? This video will show you how to assess for any tongue deficits you may have that can affect your mewing, and based on that, I'll give you an exercise sequence that I've used with countless patients and clients to beef up their mewing game. There are 5 basic things your tongue needs to be able to do so you mew like a rock star. That's having adequate mobility, coordination, endurance, proper chewing posture, and an effective swallow. If you have any limitations in these, your mewing skills are gonna be like totally weak sauce. So I want you to test and work on each of these in order, as the skills learned in each step build and affect the next one. For example, if your tongue mobility isn't that good, you're probably not going to be able to coordinate it that well. If you skip steps, you might not get the best benefits, or in some instances, it can make things worse. Let's first talk about mobility. If your tongue is restricted, you might have a difficult time getting your tongue up to the roof of the mouth in the first place, or the floor of the tongue will lift up as you mew. This limits the benefits of mewing in the first place. To test your tongue motion, you want to compare how your mouth opening changes when you place your tongue in 2 different positions. The first step is to look how far you can open your mouth. You'll then want to place the tip of the tongue on the rough patch on the front part of the roof. This, which you can see right here on the puppet, is called the rugae. If you lose 25% of your opening or more, the front part of your tongue is restricted. Next, place the entire tongue up on the roof of the mouth. Same thing, if your opening reduces by 25% or more, the back of your tongue is restricted. If you notice both are limited, tackle the front side restrictions first. To do that, start by taking the tip of your tongue and sliding it back and forth along the roof of your mouth. Do 20 to 30 reps 2 to 3 times per day. Progress the intensity by curling the tongue over and under a chopstick like so. Do the same amount of reps as the last move. For backside restrictions, I like these side-to-side punches. Gently bite down on 1 to 2 of your knuckles. Push the tongue into the side of the cheek, holding for a 5 count without moving the jaw. Alternate sides. Do 3 sets of 10 per side, 2 to 3 times per day. You can work on opening and closing with the entire tongue up against the roof of the mouth to really stretch the backside. Get into the mewing position by placing your tongue up and giving a quick swallow. Keep the tongue on the roof. Slowly open and close without losing position. If you feel a stretch in the base of the tongue, you're doing it right. Do 3 sets of 10 reps 2 to 3 times per day. Now, just because you might have the tongue motion doesn't mean that you can mew with the best of them. What if you can't fit your tongue in between your teeth? If your tongue coordination is boof, then you won't be able to mew. You're like someone who's got a Ferrari but doesn't know how to drive stick shift. Let's fix that. To work the different tongue muscles needed to mew, you want to be able to make different shapes with your tongue. The most common ones are the taco, the pointy tongue, and the fat tongue. But if you can't make these, it's unlikely that you can properly coordinate your tongue to fit in between your teeth. Let's first start by working on the taco. The easiest starting point is by placing a chopstick on the center of your tongue. If you press the chopstick down, you might notice that your tongue actually begins to curl. It's almost like you're making a nerdy mewing hot dog. Once you get the position, hold it for 3 to 4 sets of 30 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day. You'll slowly want to remove the chopstick, seeing if you can keep the taco position. If you can't, switch to a popsicle stick. Because it's thinner than a chopstick, it's a bit more challenging. Once you have the ability to create the taco, you'll then want to work on 30-second holds, keeping the position. Just this time, no chopstick, no popsicle stick. The training wheels are off, let's get it. But then, the real tough piece, the real challenge, is working towards getting this taco position without using the lips to assist. See, once you've made the taco, slowly move your lips away from the tongue, relaxing them. Now, it's normal for the taco shape to reduce. You just want to try and hold on for dear life by working those muscles for the same 3 to 4 sets of 30 seconds. The next shape to work on is bringing the tongue to a point. This is critical if you want to be able to fit your tongue in between your teeth when you mew. because that's how you get a good suction. That's how you reap the benefits. I start by taking a chopstick and I put it right in front of my mouth. Try to hit the tip of your tongue to the chopstick. As you press into it, you'll start to notice that the sides of the tongue work and it gets skinnier side to side. Hold this position for 3 to 4 sets of 30 seconds. We then want to be able to create this point with the tongue in a higher position. That way you don't have the floor of the mouth lifting as much. You can simply take the chopstick, put it on the bottom of your tongue and lift it up, keeping the point that you worked on before. Do the same 30-second holds. You'll slowly want to remove this chopstick over time. A slight drop in tongue positioning when you do this is normal. You'll then want to progress to actively being able to get this position without any assistance. Press the front part of the tongue, not the tip, on the bottom of the upper teeth. Keep this pressure and slowly open your mouth. This will work the back part of the tongue muscles that bring the sides in. Do your 30-second holds and then progress to slowly sliding the tongue back onto the roof of the mouth and holding. Now you're in a proper mew position. And although being able to fit the tongue between the teeth is critical to effective mewing, most people struggle getting the back of the tongue up to the roof of the mouth. And that's why I like making my tongue fat. The first part involves saying "ga" or "ka," which works this area of the tongue. From here, think about making the tongue as big as possible, high to low. If you have a hard time making the shape, brushing the back of the tongue with a toothbrush can be a godsend. Hold this position for 3 to 4 sets of 30 seconds. Now you've gotten tongue mobility and coordination down pat. But that doesn't mean you're gonna be able to mew over the course of the day. Your tongue is loaded with muscles and you need to train them like any other body part. I like these tongue swipes that my homegirl Ashley Summers showed me. Check her out. You'll push your tongue as far back into the upper right molar. Hold for a 3 count. Then switch to the other side. You'll want to do this for time. I start people with 2 to 3 minutes a day, but you can work up to 10 minutes a day, eventually titrating down to a couple of times per week. Then the key is hitting the mew properly without compensation now that you have all the components. To do this, make sure that the tongue tip is on the spot, that rough patch called the rugae that's near the front of the roof of the mouth. You pull the tongue up in between the teeth and swallow twice. This will help create a suction of the tongue up to the roof of the mouth and help you keep proper position throughout the day. Although mewing throughout the day is critical, it's not our tongue's only function. See, it also must hold good positioning during both chewing and swallowing, as proper tongue function with these movements minimizes excessive tension and it can improve digestion. You can test to see how well your tongue works when you're chewing by grabbing a snack and seeing if you can make it into a small ball after you've chewed it up. If the food is spread out across the tongue or you notice that it gets stuck in your cheeks, you'll want to practice making a bowl tongue where the front and sides of the tongue lift up. Hold this position for 3 to 4 sets of 30 seconds. You'll want to practice this shape while chewing foods, seeing if you can create that ball. Then, once you've mastered chewing, you'll want to practice swallowing without using facial muscles or neck. Making a big smile and swallowing is a great practice tool for this, with the goal being to minimize face and neck movements. I'd recommend doing this periodically when you drink or eat. Or if you want to get a bunch of reps throughout the day, there's this straw called a Remplenish straw. Not a sponsor, but they should be, and it encourages tongue positioning in order to drink through it. Now, tongue placement is only one piece of mewing. If your posture is meh, then that can contribute to a lower tongue position. The moves found in this video right here can help you with that.